Yes, sir.
See, like when I talk about a tuple, so tuples are just like a list. List contains a group of elements. This also tuple also contains a group of elements. Whereas in the case of list, list was containing the mutable. List is a mutable. That means we can add the elements, we can remove the elements, we can modify, we can do the manipulations. Whereas in the case of tuples, you cannot, since it is a immutable object. Okay, it does not support changes. To create a tuple, so we need to use the round bracket. So in the case of a list, we use the square bracket. In the case of a tuple, we'll be using the round bracket, which is separated with the commas. That means each element within that what you store. So will be separated with a comma. The empty tuple is just like, if you want to have a tuple without any data, you just open and close the brackets. That's it. Um, Now, tuple does not support methods for manipulation. Methods for manipulation is, in the case of list, we saw the various methods like append, extend, insert, remove, pop. Those methods are not there. The other methods are supported, like you want to reverse a string, you want to read the string values from there. So yeah, we can do that, like sorting, reversing. Those things are there, but methods for doing the data manipulation is not supported. Iterations in tuples are much faster. So since tuple is not loaded with heavy functionalities, it does not support data manipulation. It's more like a one way. It is like a read only. Since it is read only, your reading is going to be much faster. So you want to read the data from the group of elements. That is, the list is a more preferred one. Okay, so since it doesn't allow your data manipulation, so it's a one-way direction, so reading is much faster. So in the places where I want to store a group of elements only for the purpose of reading, tuple is a preferred one. So but you want to have for the manipulation, the list is a preferred one. Okay, used in the situation, you want to set the values and don't want to change the values. You just want to read, like a read-only list of values. Okay, so now let us see like how do we create a tuple in Python. Okay, now let us create a tuple here. So if you want to create a tuple, so it will be given like this. See, like it just says PUP, some name you can just give it, is equal to, I just use a round bracket. That's it. Okay. So it can, if you want to have the values, I can just give some values here. So again, it can have a heterogeneous values also. Now I want to know what is the tup. I can just say print type of tup. So you can see this is going to be of type tuple. Fine. So that's it. We have created the tuple here. So now you want to read the complete tuple. I can just say print tup. Okay, that is the name we have just given. So when you see this, so all those particular values, whatever we saw here, so we could read this data from the tuple. Now you want to do the indexing, you want to read the first element or the second element. So what is that we do? Suppose it supports the same kind of indexing, what is supported in the list. So I just say print tuple, that is in the square bracket. If I say 0, it is going to read the first value. You can see 1 has been tried. If I say 1, so it is going to read the index 2. So this is 0, this is 1. Index 2, that is index 1 is going to be 4. So you can see the output of this is going to be 4. Fine. So if I say -1, what will happen? It will read the last value. 3 is the last value. Fine. Yeah. So you want to store read multiple values. Say example, second and third value you want to read. So I can read it like this. I can just say print. I just say tup. And the bracket, I just say I want to read the second and third value. So I start with the index 1, which is going to be the second value. And I want to end at position 3. So this is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'll just say 3. So you can see I got this 2 values. Fine. So we can do this. You want to do any kind of arithmetic operations with tuple? Yes, you can do, since it has only the numerical data values here. So I can just say print sum of tup. So it will do the sum of all the values. So sum of all those values, 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 7, 12 plus 3 is 15. No, we are getting this. That is sum of the tuple is going to be, it will be the sum. So we can do the arithmetic operations. Like I want to know what is the highest value, what is the lowest value, min, max operations. Yeah, that is possible. I want to know what is the highest value. I just say max of tuple. So this will tell me highest value in the tuple is 7, lowest is 1. Okay, so we can do it this way. Tuple can be of any types. I can just say names is equal to, I can just open the bracket, I just say Sadik, Ghana, and say, yeah, so I just have these 3 names here. So I want to read these names, I can just say print names. So this is going to print Sadik Ghana. So if I want to get Ghana, so what is that we do? With the index, I just read it. So index, that is I want to read the second value. That is index 1. Fine. So this is how we read the values. So you want to get the second last. So I can even use reverse indexing -1. This is going to get me as Sarah. Like I want to know how many names are there. I can just say print length of names. So it says we have 3 names. Now I said tuples are immutable. Immutable in the sense they cannot be modified as unchangeable. So now it says no tuples cannot be changed. What does this mean? Now take an example here. So we have this Ghana. So I want to replace Ghana with somebody else. Okay. So generally what we do in the case of list, we can just say names of 1 is equal to, I can just define a new name. Okay, let me define a new name, say Praveen. Fine. So now you can see when I run this, this will print names. We can see here when I just say names of 1 is equal to Praveen. So that means I'm trying to modify this Ghana to this particular Praveen. So which is throwing an error, type error. Tuple object does not support, okay, manipulation. Item assignment. Now the same thing, if it is a list, if I put a square bracket, this becomes a list. When I put a square bracket, it becomes a list. Now you can see this works. Okay, and you can see I have modified this position 1 with Praveen. So now it says Sadik, Praveen, and Sarah. So that is Ghana is been replaced. Okay, so if it is a list, I am able to do it. But if I put a round bracket, that is your tuple, it doesn't allow the data manipulation is not allowed. Clear? Okay, so that clearly says like you cannot manipulate the what do you say tuple, or like say you want to add more names to this. So in the case of list, what we did, we used the append method. So when I just say names, what is names here? Names is a tuple. So dot. When I just say append, you can see we don't have append, we don't have extend, which we used to see it in the case of a list. See, if I just make this as a list, as soon as I make this, put in the square bracket, that means it's the list now. When it is a list, you can see we have this append. You can see here, append is there. We have the extend. We have pop. We have remove. But this is reverse is there in the case of tuple. Remove also is there since it's a list. But if I make this as a tuple, okay, so if I make this as a tuple, you can see this dot remove is not there. So we have dot append or dot extend. All these methods are not. So only thing is we can count how many elements are there, index of a particular, or you can say sort. Okay, so len will find out the length. Index will just give me a particular position name, where it is present. Like I just want to know where is Sarah, the position of Sarah. Print Sarah is in the index. Tuple object does not support. It doesn't support this particular manipulation. There is a reason. Yeah, so that means you can see the len was this. This is index is telling that Sarah is index 2. Index 2 means it is in the third position. So I can do the indexing. I can read the data from it. But only thing is I cannot do the manipulation. So what is a tuple? Tuple is an immutable object. It contains a group of elements. It can be of same or it can be of a different data types. We can do the calculations with the tuples if it is the numeric values. We can read the values. We can search for the elements in the tuple contains index positions we can try to get. But we cannot do the manipulations. Manipulations in the sense insert, update, delete cannot be done. And in the case of a tuple, the data is stored in the round brackets. Okay. Same like your list, we can do this particular indexing. It can be a forward indexing, reverse indexing, a group of values can also be done. So we saw that tuples was not allowing you to do the manipulation. So it means instead of 4, I want to replace this 4 with 10. Okay. So generally we say tup of the index 1. So that means index 1 is this value. I want to replace this with 10. So you can see this immediately throws me an error. So it says cannot support. Okay, it does not support manipulation. So this is how it is different from the list.